So why did Martel move to Romania? Why did he come to a place? Why did he come to Eastern Europe? Why did he leave the US? A lot of y'all are asking that question, and I'm here to tell you exactly why in my process, and maybe even inspire some of you to get out of your current environment and actually move somewhere that makes sense for you. And so I'll give you the full breakdown. I'll give you the story. I'll save you on some of the details. But the reality was, when I was in the US, it's not like I was struggling in the US. I was doing good. Right? I was making money in the US. But here's the things that I started to analyze and started to realize, which made me want to be able to go somewhere else, which made me expand my horizons. I've been in the US my entire life. I have traveled to Europe. I've traveled to Switzerland. I've traveled to Malta through work trips and things like that. So I was able to see more, right? And so that expanded my mind. I started to see how people lived. And I started to analyze how I was living in the US. I started to analyze the systems that were put in the US to keep people where they're at. Health-wise, financially, mentally, socially, everything. And I realized this is not how I want to live as a man who is looking for freedom in all aspects of life, being multidimensionally jacked with freedom in all of these dimensions, right? And so I'll give you the first one when it comes to physically jacked or your health in general. I started looking at the health system in the US, and I started to analyze all the foods that were being pushed at me. And by the way, y'all know me. I'm a healthy guy. I eat organic food. I try my hardest to eat whole foods. And when I started to analyze the type of food that was in the US that I was feeding myself, I was realizing all of it's poison, even if that shit is organic, it's still processed. And I was also noticing, if y'all saw in the previous videos that I had when I was in my high-rise apartment in Utah, my face was puffed up. And the reason my face was puffed up was all of the preservatives that I was eating, all of the hidden ingredients in the foods that are in the US. Nothing is farm grown. Local farmers aren't really common down there. So I was stuck in this perpetual health cycle of death where I'm constantly feeding myself a bunch of bullshit. And I'm trying to figure out, well, why is my health not accelerating even if I'm doing all the right steps? So that was step one, was the health system was completely fucked. Then I look at the financial system. I literally did an audit of my entire expenses in the US that I needed to have to sustain. And by the way, I lived in Utah. I didn't live in Miami. I didn't live anywhere. I lived in fucking Utah. I had a high-rise apartment, right? 1 bedroom, 900 square feet. And I was looking at $5 grand a month total in life expenses, in my bills that I had to pay, which were bullshit, by the way. A lot of this shit I didn't even need. But again, they're forced on you by the system in the US to keep you financially stuck, right? So I got to a certain point where I'm looking at all the bills and it added up to around $5 grand a month. My apartment by itself was $2,500 a month. A 1-bedroom fucking apartment. 1 bedroom. Costing me that much, right? $2,500 a month. And that was considered regular. And some of y'all may be paying more. Some of y'all may be paying a little less, but you live with roommates and shit. And I was like, I'm not trying to have this life. This is not it, right? This is just not it. And so from a financial perspective, it didn't make sense. I was leasing a car that I didn't even, why, right? The thought process for me was, why do I need to lease this shit? Like, why do I need to pay this company multiple amounts of money to be able to keep? And the craziest part about it was, and I'll tell y'all this because, again, we beyond that now. We real good now. But at that time, I was going through a process where the company that I had leased my car with had taken my car away because my card didn't go through for one payment that I was supposed to make. I think the auto pay got cut off. And I literally walked out. I was with my girl. I'll never forget this shit. I went in my apartment. I was with my girl. And all of a sudden, my car gets repoed. I didn't even know. I thought somebody stole my car because, bro, I've been on time with payments for years. And so I'm looking and I'm like, bro, they literally just took my car away. This is not freedom. Like, this is genuinely not freedom. Where if something wrong happens, and I called them and I was like, look, what happened? Why did you take my car? They were like, well, you missed one payment. And so I had to deal with that shit. Right. And luckily my girl is super, super supportive, right? Super, super helpful. We talked about the situation, et cetera, et cetera. And that was at that pivotal point in my life where I was like, this is not where I want to be. Right. And I was growing on YouTube. I was building my stuff up. Everything was happening. Man, like my apartment, bro, like the amount of stress that I had as a 26-year-old male was absolutely insane. 27-year-old male. As a 27-year-old male, the amount of stress that I had day to day, right? The amount of hustle that I had to do to even just live, right? And I made way more than my expenses were, but I just felt like I constantly had some new shit to pay. All the time, there's some new fucking expense to pay in the US. I just don't understand it. Nobody, no, at least nobody I knew owned anything. Nobody was building anything bigger. Nobody had the freedom. Nobody could just go outside and just chill. The air was fucked up. Everything was bad, health-wise, financial-wise, everything. So I just got fed up with it. Spiritually, I was just stuck. I did not feel free. My spirit wasn't aligned with that environment at all. And I'd been to LA, I'd been to all these spots, I'd been to Texas. I get it. There are spots in the US that make sense. But here's where it got interesting. When I started noticing the people that I was networking with who were living in other countries, and I started talking to them about their experiences in other countries, they're like, Martel, get out the US. Just get out the US. You will see a different life when you move out the US. So my option was Thailand. I wanted to go to Thailand. And the reason I wanted to go to Thailand was, one, because it's way cheaper to live. Two, because the food is really good. It's dialed in, right? And three, you live a very, very good life down there, right? But my problem with Thailand was the time zone difference. I believe it's like 17 hours. My boy Luther, if you watch if you watch me, you probably watch him as well. He lives in Thailand, right? And he ended up leaving because he came to visit me in Utah. We had the conversation. I'm like, bro, I'm getting out the US. I'm going somewhere else. And he was like, where would you go? Where would you do that? I'm like, I don't know yet, but I'm getting out the US. And then 2 weeks later, I ended up moving to Romania. His ass was like, nigga, I gotta go to Thailand. So he hit me. He's like, bro, I got inspired by you and I moved to Thailand. But like, and I was also talking to other guys. My boy Tim, who lives in Budapest, right? Similar, right? He came from the US, everything, and he ended up living in Budapest. And now he told me, he's like, I'm living and dying in Budapest. My family will be built in Budapest. And it makes sense because as a man, you have to have a home base that makes sense for you. And for me, when I found out, because my girl's from Romania, that's why I moved here in the first place. A lot of you motherfuckers are like, oh, well, you moving there because Andrew. I don't give a fuck about Andrew Tate, bro. He's cool. I like him. But that's not the reason why a man moves somewhere, right? I live 10 hours away from Bucharest, where they all live, right? I live really in like the suburb, rural area. It's super nice. And there's a city center that's extremely nice. Y'all have seen some of my previous videos where I'm walking through the city center. You see how nice it is. I like the architecture here. And I remember I told my girl, I was like, look, the reality is I want to move to Romania, right? I want to see how it is. She had ended up coming back too for a little bit, for like a month or two or whatever. And I was like, if I like it, then we should stay. Right. And she was like, well, if it makes sense for you, then let's try it out. So we went ahead and we came here. I found a house, the house that I live in right now, absolutely gorgeous house, right? 3-bedroom house, marble floors, modern renovations, everything, a big ass yard, all of that for literally $1,000 a month. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, what have I been doing? I got the crib immediately, put the down payment down, got the crib immediately, because I'm like, this is insane. I was living in a high-rise, stuffy apartment in fucking Utah with nobody else around me, and I was literally not close to having the lifestyle that I have now. Now, and I'm also realizing, well, damn, what are the other countries? I just visited my boy Tim from Budapest, and I'm actually going again this week to go see him again. We might just do a video while we're out there, right? It's a 2-hour drive to go to Budapest for me. 2-hour drive to go to a different country with a different culture. And I can do that now because now I'm in Europe. Now access to all these different places are easy. I saw when I went to Dubai, right? Dubai is closer here than it is in the US. And so I now am traveling to other places and I'm realizing the psyop that I had, that you probably have, where it's like, US is the best place. I have to live in the US. That shit is going to keep you broke. I'm telling you this shit right now. And the reality is, yes, you do have to have financial freedom to be able to go and live in a different country. And that's what I'm telling you. Create an online business. And when I say financial freedom, I'm not saying you got to be a millionaire, because I'm not a millionaire. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm this and that. No, right? But I do have the financial freedom and I am making a good amount of money and I'm doing it on my own terms, which by definition means I'm financially free, right? So because of that, that allowed for me to move here and live a way better life. The sun is out. I could walk outside in my own yard shirtless. We all know I like to be shirtless. I walk around. I go out, bro. And people when they found out that I lived in Romania, I had a bunch of these victim ass motherfuckers. They were like, "Oh, bro, it's racist out there. They're not gonna like you because you're black, bro. They don't like black. They don't give a fuck about race here, bro. They don't care about it." This is what I like about it here too as well. The political shit is not even a thing here. Nobody's politically charged. Nobody's over here just like mad about a political agenda that's occurring. People aren't passionate about bullshit that makes them no money, that gives them no value, no impact. Nobody gives a fuck about that. I'm a black man. I'm jacked. I'm well dressed. I can speak very well. I'm starting to learn the language. I walk through the streets. People are turning around like smiling like, damn, look at this motherfucker. I can walk through streets and have that. Out here, I was having it in the US as well, but it's cool to see that it translates, all the principles that I'm telling you translates to global influence. I'm starting to meet with heavy hitters here, dudes who are literally private security for some of the greatest figures that you know, top comedians, top actors, top A-list celebrities that live here. I'm meeting guys who make a lot of money out here. There are guys who are coming to visit different cities around here that house a lot of wealth out here. And now I can build my empire while I'm also making sure that my life is good. Food here is great. I'm not even just saying this for Romania. I'm saying this for a lot of Europe. There are some places in Europe, obviously no, but where I'm currently at, bro, the food all grown in a farm. Everybody grows their food here, right? The food is literally coming from the ground. My girl's dad, right? He makes all of his vegetables in his garden, in his home, right? The tradition here is next level. If you're single, the women here, they're literally top quality women. Period point. I think the West is fucking cooked. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to modern women, the West is fried. And the reason for this is because when you go out in the West, when you start to talk to women in the West, they've been indoctrinated to believe that men are trash, that men are the devil, that men are the worst people on the planet, and they treat you as such. But then when you come out here, or when you're with, so my girl, again, I'm not a passport bro, right? So I met my girl in Utah, right? We started in Utah. But when I came out here, and the way that she is because of the culture. She only moved to the US recently, probably in like 2020, right? She only been there for like 4 years. The culture, bro, of women here, very, very submissive, and not in a bad way. It's just they see you as a leader. They want to please you. They want your life to be easier. They will do things for you. I'll never forget when my boy Luther, when I was in Utah, he came and visited your boy, right? Came to the crib. My girl made a full meal for both of us. He looked at her and he was like, "What the fuck?" And he asked me, he's like, "Bro, where did you find this person from?" And I'm like, "Bro, it's the culture. It's the fucking culture in the US," because he was dating women in the US. I'm like, "Bro, it is cooked. It's possible to find somebody in the US, but you're better off going somewhere else." Now he's in Thailand and he's like, "Bro, it's a whole different fucking vibe." And I'm like, I know the US is cooked. And again, if you live in the US, I'm not trying to trash talk the US like that, but I'm just giving you the reality of the game. I'm giving you the reality, the truth about everything. And you can take this and you can internalize it and you can do something with it. And I'm telling you, moving to a different country forced me to reshape my identity into who I want to become. It forced me to look at life very differently. It forced me to become a better version of myself. I was too comfortable in the US. I knew everything. I knew the culture. I knew how to move in the US. I knew how to meet some of the top people in the US. My network in the US is elite. Like billionaires on my phone from the US that I've met. And when I came here, it was a different culture. And it forced me to level up. It forced me to understand new societal differences and forced me to understand new perspectives and forced me to realize that there is way more than just the United States of America. You're in an echo chamber right now. You're in a glass globe where you're literally sitting here and you think there's nothing else outside of you. I dare you to just start traveling the world. Go to Dubai, go to the Middle East, go to Abu Dhabi, go to these places, go to Spain, go visit Switzerland, go to Thailand, go to Southeast Asia. My boy Dudley, I know y'all watch Dudley. I'm telling you, we Avengers out here. He lives in Colombia. I'm about to go see him too. And he even told me, he's like, bro, it's just when I'm here, I'm locked in. The culture is different. My money stretches further. That's why we come out here. That's why you see a lot of us moving out, because we realize our money that we're making, because we're financially free, because we make money online and we provide a lot of value online to where we can make that money. We can go stretch that money somewhere else and get a way better life with way better quality experiences. That's the whole vision. That's why I left the West. And that's why I don't plan on coming back long term. I may come back because I still have my family in New York. I still have my people out there. I still got my cousin that's in Utah. You probably said, Martell, why did you move to Utah? My cousin moved to Utah, right? And so my cousin convinced me like, yo, this is a good place to land, because I wanted to move back to California to build out my tech company. So he was like, yo, Silicon Slopes is popping, whatever. I went, packed up and moved. That's another thing as a man. You should be able to get to a point where you can pack up and move. And you cannot fucking do that shit working a 9 to 5, going into an office job. If you're doing that right now, I don't knock your hustle whatsoever. I think it's a great thing to do to get yourself started. But hit escape velocity and build your business while you're doing it. Your 9 to 5, your 5 to 9 after that needs to be building something that's spectacular. Creating content, building a personal brand, making a business around that personal brand, or starting a store, selling something online. Doing that, because that gives you global freedom. And that's what all the homies that I know, they all have global freedom. They are happier. They're in better relationships. The women respect them because they left the hellhole that I feel that the U.S. is. And again, I'm not knocking you if you like it. If you like it, that's your choice. But for me, it was not where I was destined to go. As a man who came from the projects of Brooklyn, New York, to be here, I see that shit as a win. As a man who's able to experience different cultures, thrive in different cultures, and experience how people appreciate me of all different types of cultures that I experience, because of all the principles that I told you, built the body, built the mindset, built the social skills, built the communication, built the business. Now I can be anywhere and I'm valued. I was still valued in the US, but not as much as now. And I'm telling you this right now, this is your wake-up call to say, do I want to stay in the same trap that I've been in? If you're not living the life that you want to live right now in the US, I dare you to go somewhere else for a week. Go somewhere else. Some of the people that you watch did that. You look at FitX Fearless, right? I've watched FitX. I like FitX Fearless. Bro went and built his entire business in Colombia. He's back in Miami now because he's sitting on just a war chest. He has all the bread he needs. He's good. Okay, come back to the US, expand, right? Cool. But he went to Colombia and did his thing. He built himself up there. And as a man, you have to find a home base to go build yourself up and then come back if you want to, right? But for me, I don't have right now, this was the best move I've ever made. Did I go through some hurdles? Yes. You might be asking, well, Martell, how are you living here? What about citizenship? What about all that? I have residency here, right? I have residency that will renew every year. Luckily, again, knowing people and my girl knowing people were able to get me in so that I could actually get residency very quickly, right? Within the 90 days that I had here. So I was able to do that. And so that's what I'm saying, where it's like, I'm at a point now where shit's starting to work in my favor. My spirit is aligned. I'm very happy. If you watch me on Instagram, I'm very happy. My lifestyle is great. I'm able to go to hot springs whenever I want. Hot springs, bro. I didn't have access to this shit in the US. Hot springs? What? I'm able to go to some of the top clinics. Healthcare. Man, I was paying like $600 a month for healthcare, for health insurance, as a solo entrepreneur, as a person who was self-employed, right? Had my own business. I had multiple business. It's like I had to pay that much money for healthcare that I didn't even use. Here, bro, it's like $500 a year max. Max. There it's like 6 bands. And I'm like, nah, bro, I gotta change this shit up. And it's given me so much freedom, and it's given me so much more fulfillment to be building something that's global, to have access to all these places. If I meet somebody who lives, maybe I had a guy, you guys are gonna see this. I'm gonna post this video. He came and spent a day with me here in Romania, and we worked out, we talked, etc. And he's from Poland, one of my clients from Poland. He was able to come to me, right? And we spent the day. I'm probably gonna go to Poland and meet him. And we'll do some firearm training, and we'll do some like special ops shit, because that's what he's into. And that type of stuff, I'm not getting that in the US, bro. And especially where I'm coming from, I didn't have these experiences. I didn't have these opportunities. I didn't. And I'm telling you, if you expand your horizons, find your next flag place that you want to drop your flag in and live. Because I'm gonna tell you this shit right now. The minute that you go into that place and you make that place yours, your life will completely shift, completely transform. You take the time right now, build your fucking physique. I'm telling you, this is a gateway for me. Anybody who has known me here literally say, this dude has the craziest physique I've ever seen. It's the billboard that I use everywhere that I go. I don't need to say, I don't even speak the language. And people are coming up to me asking me if I'm a celebrity. The whole thing about getting jacked will give you celebrity status. It's no bullshit. I live that shit everywhere. I went to Dubai, it was the same shit. And I'm telling you this right now. It's like, build the physique, build the mindset that you need to be unstoppable, build the financial war chest that you need, start a business that allows for you to be free and be able to travel the world. Bro, I'm gonna tell you this one thing that got me, right? The one thing that got me was I was meditating on my death. I was meditating on my death, and I was like, okay, if I die, can I say that I traveled the world? Can I say that I saw the world that God created, that put me on this earth to explore as a man, to dominate different parts of the world? Did I do that shit? Or did I just stay cucked up in the US because I was comfortable and I didn't want to explore and expand and go somewhere else? That was another defining moment for me. I was like, yo, I need to start conquering outside of the United States. I need to go somewhere else. I need to plant a flag somewhere else. I need to go dive into a new culture. I need to go experience something new. That is why it worked for me. And that's why I believe it can work for you. If you put in the work and if you get yourself dialed in to be able to do that. Because I'm gonna tell you this shit right now. I'm gonna tell you this right now. There will be no better feeling than when you go to a different country with a different climate. And if you're single, you start to experience women from a different caliber. You start to experience very beautiful women. You start to experience women who want you. And it's not like you're chasing them. Because in the US, there's this weird fucking paradigm with women, and I don't fuck with it. It's just not my vibe, right? So for me, I stayed single for a while. Like, I was in a relationship, and I was like, I'm just about to be single for another couple of years. And I'm going to just do my thing out here, right? And I found a woman that really fit exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. And I was cool. And I figured out the culture she was in. And I was like, we got to go there. I'll raise my kids here. Why not? It's safe. You could walk out at night. No one's going to. Bro, the U.S. is dangerous, bro. You walk out at night, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen to you. Here, you can walk out at night, nothing. Bro, people aren't drunk driving out here. Literally, bro, like, they breathalyze everybody. Randomly, they'll breathalyze you. And if you have even just an ounce of alcohol, your license is cooked. Your license is taken. Now, I can't drive yet because I still have to get my license out here. But the reality is, got the whip, got the crib, got everything. We good. Like, everything now is moving in my favor. Now I abandoned all of the extra bullshit that I had in the US that I kept having to fucking tend to. All of the extra responsibilities that did not actually give me any value whatsoever. I looked at my statement. I was like, why do I have all these fucking subscriptions? Why am I paying for this? Why am I paying for that? Why have I been paying for that for years? This motherfucker took 10 bands off of me over the last few years. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, let's reset. I'm going to restart. Coming here was a crazy situation. That's a story for another day financially. Came here, bank accounts were frozen. Bank accounts, lost my card. Bank literally shut down my account because I couldn't have the card get sent to me, right? And it's because I live in a foreign country now. They can't send cards out there. So I had to make a new bank account out here. My business account got hacked. My Stripe account got hacked, right? So I didn't have the money that I was making online. That shit was completely gone. Hacked my whole shit. Came here with nothing. Virtually nothing. Was making close to 20 bands a month in the US. Came here and everything got shut down and I was like, damn, was this the wrong move? Then I realized, no, this is the right move. This is why it's mental resilience. It makes me undeniable because now, because I started from zero in a different fucking country and I ran that shit up back to 20K a month. That's why I tell you, once you know the information that can make you money, you will never be fucking broke. You won't. It doesn't matter where you go. The minute that you're able to dial in and you're able to build yourself up and become the man who is undeniable, you will never go fucking broke. Ever. 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 And that's what I'm saying. Now I'm experiencing new shit. I'm getting people who are helping me with different things. All right, boom. Help me understand how to trade the markets. Now I'm learning how to trade currencies, foreign currencies, learning how to trade options, indices, everything. Because I want to be dangerous. I want to be well-rounded. I want to be multidimensional. I want to be someone who is recession fucking proof because that's where we're headed. We're headed towards a big recession. You see the tariffs going up. You see how products are going to start getting more expensive. You see how there's food shortages in the US. Why the fuck would you want to stay there? Why? Why not go somewhere else and plant your flag? I had one of my other guys, he was my spiritual mentor for a while. He lived in Peru. He was like, bro, I'm not coming back to the US. And I saw it as a foreign concept. I'm like, bro, why would you not want to come back to the US? US is the best place to be. And he's like, go somewhere else and try it and let me know. And when I finally moved somewhere else, I was like, nah, I get it, bro. Totally understand. And maybe there will be a mass exodus out of the US. I'm sure. US is not going to stay number one for long. Study empires. They have life cycles. US is on its last leg. I believe that wholeheartedly. There is always a life cycle. And you ride the wave now if you need to, but always look for that next step. Always look for that next place that you want to go. Because I'm telling you, when you start going somewhere else and you start making real money and you start to understand how money works, because here's the thing, I would never tell someone to move somewhere else to go work in that location. No, don't work in that currency. Work in US currency. It's still number one right now, right? Get your money in the US, spend that shit somewhere else. Europe, Middle East, anywhere. That's how you geomax. That's how you have geolocational freedom. Get your passports everywhere. Get your residencies everywhere. Be literally limitless. I remember when COVID happened, people were stuck in one place. Get passports. I'm telling you this as a dude who grew up from poverty to now having the freedom that people dream about. You dream about having freedom. Go get that shit. Go grab it and bring it towards you. You can do it. You just have to open your horizons and you have to stop thinking so one-dimensionally. You have to start realizing that there's so much more to the world. There's so much more that you can do. There's so many other places that exist that will cater to exactly what it is that you want. And the more that you understand that, the more that you explore. It's the same with business. Yeah, you like the 9-to-5 shit. Explore. Go try to start a business. See how that goes. You'll come to realize, and if you're in Multidimensional Academy, you will see this, how the whole idea of capitalism can be exploited by anybody. The whole idea, if somebody carries value. The whole working system was created. The system is slow for, I teach all this shit in Multidimensional Academy. Literally, everything was created to be slow so that you can move slow. Your rent is due every month for a reason. You get paid every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, you get a fucking plus in your account. But every single day, you're getting a fuck ton of negatives. That's what shook me when I finally got into online business. So I'm like, there's no fucking way. Why do I have all these negatives in my account? And I have pluses every 2 weeks. That doesn't make sense. Why is it that when I'm supposed to get paid by an institution for something, they take forever, but then when I have to pay them, they rush me? It's exploitative. They're exploiting me. So I need to exploit them. I need to cut them off. I need to build my own life. I need to build my dream life. And now I'm building an empire out here. Online, I'm building a whole empire. And I get it now. I get why people do it. I get why all the homies I have now that live abroad and we're living right. And you see our lifestyles. You see how we live. You see how happy we are now. That's why. That's why I left the West. That's why I'm here in Romania. That's where I'm probably going to stay here. Maybe potentially have a second home, potentially in Dubai, potentially somewhere else. I don't know yet, but that's why. That's the truth. I hope you found some value in this. I hope this inspired you to explore and be beyond where you're currently at. And honestly, to the bottom of my heart, I hope that you get everything that you want out of life. You deserve that shit, bro. You deserve to get everything you want out of life, but you got to work for it. And you have to expand your horizons. So I appreciate you, and I'm going to catch you on the next video.